They're at it again. Welcome into the PHNX Cardinals halftime show. I'm Johnny Venerable, joined as always by Brock. Frank Sanders live at the PHNX headquarters in downtown Phoenix. And gentlemen, what we thought was going to be a get-right game for Kliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray, anything but thus far.
Yeah, this offense, after scoring its first points in the first quarter, coming out showing some promise, and then tried to go for it on 4th and 4, completely pulled the parachute as far as any offensive momentum that you thought they were getting against this 31st ranked defense. And look, Kyler Murray, Kliff Kingsbury, the finger pointing, I don't think you could avoid it at this point, Frank Sanders. I mean, right, this is just putrid against the defense. I see you guys in the chat that has surrendered 45 points to a Detroit Lions team. You can't muster any offense. You can't find your way into any paint as far as the end zone's concerned. It's just inexcusable for a team that has high expectations for itself. Every single dollar and asset that they've used has been to pimp out this offense, and we can't get any production out of it whatsoever.
They say what a bunch of clowns, and it does not look good, honestly. I got the shades on, but I got no hate on them. Honestly, this is a NFC team playing against another NFC team. In reality, both are 2-3. Nothing has been pretty special, offensively or defensively, with both teams. And that's the sad part about watching it. We would think, Johnny, that this would be a better team going into another week, but we do have a caveat. We scored in the first quarter. You guys got what you wanted. You asked for it, and you got it. And Amendola came through with 3 points in the first quarter. Hello. That in itself is something different, but it does not look good, and they have to figure some things out. We should be better. And everyone looks like Kyler's been asking for us to wake up. Everyone looks like they're sleeping in Seattle, and that's the sad part about it right now.
Well, and the frustrating thing is, too, is I don't want to hear about, well, Justin Pugh is out, and Max Garcia's in there, and Sean Harlow's in there. Listen, the offensive line, for the most part, has been healthy this season. This is what the Cardinals have looked like for 5 games. And now into their 6th game. I don't want to hear about, well, the offense is missing pieces left and No. You went out and made a trade for Hollywood Brown. You gave Kyler Murray $45 million. You gave Zach Ertz a hefty extension. You re-signed A.J. Green. Rondale Moore's healthy. You are inept offensively. It's not, well, we're missing things here or there, but we're still... No. You are the laughingstock, Bo Brock, of the NFL in the first half. You've been the worst first half NFL team offensively. It just pains me, because I'm a Kliff Kingsbury supporter, certainly a Kyler Murray supporter, how unprepared they look. You go into every game, and listen, Pete Carroll, this Seattle team is supposed to be a joke. They have been a joke defensively. He's getting thoroughly outcoached.
Yeah, he is. I mean, as far as this offensive line play, it's brutal, but you should be able, just armchair quarterback in the league should be able to combat this. You talk about Zach Ertz and all the money he got. 0 targets. You don't have any quick hitters to your tight ends. You don't have any quick hitters to Hollywood Brown or Rondale Moore. And you got defensive pressure on your face the entire time. Do things to combat that. Be a little bit ahead of what's going on defensively from one of the worst defenses in the league. I mean, we're just not seeing anything innovative. We're not even seeing anything just positive. I mean, the first 2 drives, they were moving the football. And then they started to generate some defensive pressure against the interior of this Cardinals offensive line because of the Pugh injury. But still, now you're seeing pressure from all sides of things. We're seeing a lapse as far as the right tackle position. The interior is just getting beat up. It's just not a good game offensively. Kliff Kingsbury, I beg of him in the locker room.
Figure it out.
And him and Cam Turner and everybody that's involved coaching this offense to figure it out. And then the guys on the field, Frank Sanders, the guys to execute on the playing field between Kyler Murray, Hollywood Brown, Zach Ertz, and Rondale Moore. Figure it the fuck out, because you have to. You can't go down 0-2 in the division. You can't drop to 2-4. It'd be a horrendous missed opportunity before you get your main offensive weapon and DeAndre Hopkins back. That's going to help, but it's not going to remedy the whole damn thing.
Look, I'm going to take my shades off because I'm trying to be serious. But LTC says Kingsbury has us on a cliff. That's the best statement of it right now, because you're not seeing anything out of the offensive guru-minded coach that we thought that honestly should be putting something together. This offense looks stagnant. We don't have any really flow. That's the sad part about it. I'm not waiting on D-Hops to do this. We got players. We got guys. We have a personnel. Johnny's right. We have no excuse on who's there. This is a 2-3 Seattle team. We should have some flow, continuity, some similitude of what an offense should look like, whether you're going high back to low, low back to high, you're running play actions, you're running swings. Something should seem like there's a flow to the game plan you're trying to create. And it doesn't look like that. We're watching that. Look, our defense has been stellar. 9 points. Last what?
They have not given up a touchdown in the last four full quarters.
It's a full game.
They're giving up field goals, and the Cardinals can't compete. I mean, at what point? We're going to ask this. If we're fast forward, and I hope to God the Cardinals win, they have an offensive explosion in the second half. Please, for the love of God, let that happen. If we're sitting here an hour and a half from now, and the Cardinals look like that offensively again, at what point, Bo Brock, do we have to say, do you need to turn the team over to Vance Joseph? And does this team need new leadership? And do you fire Kliff Kingsbury and try to save the season under new leadership? And I've been critical of Vance Joseph. There's nothing to be critical right now. Cameron Thomas, sack in the first half. Myjai Sanders is playing. Isaiah Simmons is playing great. Antonio Hamilton, fantastic breakup. Defense is improving. The offense is getting worse. What would it take for Kliff Kingsbury to get fired?
I mean, it's not going to be this game. I mean, it would take the team just continuing to collapse offensively in the stagnant offensive performances in the first half to continue throughout the season. Now, that's going to add to the frustration the Cardinals fan, and I hear you. Absolutely. You should be frustrated by this because they should be performing at a much higher level, but they're not. Frank Sanders, when we look ahead to the second half, though, when you see the problems that are not going away as far as the offensive line woes, how do you truly combat that? What does Kliff Kingsbury need to deploy from Kyler Murray and the rest of his offense to move the ball, to get back to where they were the first two drives?
So if I'm him, I'm doing what we normally do in the offensive mindset. We go short passes and we go shallow crosses with a little bit of over top.
Yeah.
And you mix and match that between guys downfield on one side of the field, depending on the coverage, and then you give your quarterback two options. If it looks like the deep ball is there, you go with that. If it's not, then you automatically go back to the short passing game. What we're missing in our offense is really that little swing outside outlet to the running back. When things break down, you need to have that little outlet. When we go 5 receivers or five personnel, then that just kind of takes away that, and it leaves to Kyler. So I want to say run the ball, but we haven't seemed to be very effective with that right now. So to me, we get back to the short stuff, get it to our playmakers, find a way to get the ball to Rondell, find a way to get the ball to Hollywood Brown faster, quicker. Don't wait for downfield. You bring the defense in to open up the deep balls for our speed.
I want to make a quick comment here because I agree with everything you just said. You have to be quicker with your offense because you're missing a couple interior offensive linemen. The offensive line is struggling right now. That is not the root cause of the Cardinals' offensive woes.
100% agree.
Like they had Justin Pugh, they've had Rodney Hudson. They still can't move the ball. This is a philosophical coaching and quarterback miscommunication skew. Everybody's got offensive line problems. I don't want to hear excuse making. You have 3 points against the 31st ranked defense in the NFL. Yet you gave up 3 sacks in the first half. You had 7 coming into this game. It's been one of the best pass protecting offensive lines. They can't score touchdowns. That's the problem with this team. Now, is the offensive line playing a part in that today, Bo Brock? Absolutely. And it compounds already what you weren't doing well. But it is a philosophical Kliff Kingsbury problem above everything else.
Yeah, I mean, you can't disagree with it at this point. I mean, couple that with the lack of execution. You talk about that 4th and 4 play, right? Deep in the Seahawks territory. Let's talk about another thing that is a large, we'll just call it another elephant in the room. Can you have more than one elephant in the room?
Yeah,
I mean,
all of them.
The lack of confidence in the place kicking. Was that Kliff maybe saying, hey, this is an opportunity to put up points? And it looked like he had the right play call. It was a bad pass from Kyler, and maybe Rondell Moore probably should have come up with that catch. But did they not trust Amendola to just put up points? Because going forward, when I look at this team and Seattle not being able to find the end zone themselves, can you get back into this maybe kicking field goals? I know that you don't want to, but you have to be real with who you are right now. You can't score. Do you take any points you can?
I don't think so, because I think at this point, the defense is only going to be able to do so much. And we even said at the end of the first half, it's like, hey, if they give up a touchdown here, what do you want them to do? They've been on the field left and right, center. I think Seattle's still going to get theirs defensively. It'd be by the grace of God, if the Cardinals are able to hold them under 20 points, you're going to need touchdowns to win this game. So if it's manageable, I think the Cardinals should continue to try to go for it, because at some point you have to try to get right. Field goals aren't going to win you games in the NFL. We're going to be here immediately following the ending of Cardinals at Seahawks. Check us out here, PHNX Sports on YouTube. Subscribe to the podcast, PHNX_Cardinals on Twitter. We'll be hanging with you all second half. For Bo Brock, Frank Sanders, I'm Johnny Venerable. We'll see you after the game.